7 years into our marriage, I caught Guichu cheating for the third time. The first time, he knelt in the rain begging my forgiveness. The second time, he enlisted my parents, who rolled on the floor and threw tantrums to stop me from divorcing him. The third time, he simply shrugged, gave a whatever smile and said, "Why don't you go find someone too happy now?" Happy, deliriously happy. Only after I actually tried it did I finally understand him. The taste of youth and freshness really is wonderful. But Guichu began to regret it. On my 29th birthday, the house was empty. Guichu, who had sworn he'd race home to keep me company, texted 2 minutes earlier. Something came up, can't make it back. I'll make it up tomorrow. Almost simultaneously, his secretary Sumi posted a story, clearly meant for me. A hotel 100 floors up, the whole city at its feet. In front of the floor-to-ceiling window, a bathtub foamed thickly, 2 hands, laced with suds, clasped each other. The suggestive mood spoke for itself. The wedding ring mark on the man's finger had barely faded. I recognized Guichu's hand at a glance. The funny thing was, I felt nothing. After all, this wasn't his first affair. The story vanished quickly, replaced by a line of text from Sumi. Posted the wrong thing. My boss is going to punish me hard. I switched off my phone. My heart was numb, but my body was ice cold, urging me to look for heat. I drove back home. At the door, I raised my hand to knock, yet it felt tied by invisible rope. I couldn't move, so I stood there for several minutes. From inside came my brother Hee Chungwon's voice. "Mom, Dad, isn't today my sister's birthday?" My mother thought for a moment. "Tomorrow is your birthday, oh. Then today must be hers. Should we call her?" She scolded. "Call her for what? Tomorrow's your birthday. We'll just celebrate both at once. She's used to it every year." My father chimed in. "Ichu's probably with her." My mother's voice suddenly spiked. "With her? He's still on a business trip. Probably an excuse not to come home and see her. She drags that gloomy face around as if someone owes her millions. If she can't keep her man's heart, who's to blame? Besides, now that Ichu's a big boss, which big boss doesn't fool around, she's making a fuss over nothing. He hasn't dumped his old wife. Promise she'll always be the mistress of the house. What more does she want? Just turn a blind eye. Day after day she quarrels with Ichu. Who can stand it?" My father and my brother echoed her. Then the topic shifted. The family chatted and laughed again. Only I grew colder, my teeth chattering. 2 years ago, the first time I caught Guichu cheating, I plummeted into an ice cave. I said only 2 words: "Let's divorce." When you truly love someone, even a grain of sand in the eye is unbearable. Even though he knelt in the storm all night, even though he claimed he'd been drugged, I cried the whole night, yet I still refused to forgive him. My mother slapped me hard, jabbing her finger at my nose. "You insisted on marrying him. Now you want a divorce at the drop of a hat? Do you want the whole family to lose face?" Seeing my stunned look, she softened and coaxed. "Ichu was set up by some cheap woman. Give him one more chance. That's enough." For a month, Guichu came every day to apologize and beg. I finally gave in, but I couldn't share a bed with him any longer. I simply couldn't get past it. When he saw how I'd withered into a bag of bones, a walking corpse, he shed tears of pity. He wrote me a guarantee, reported his whereabouts daily, coddled me in every way, yet within 6 months I caught him with his secretary. He said he'd been drunk and mistaken her for me. I just stared at him quietly until he stormed off in shame. This time he didn't ask forgiveness. He told my parents outright. He knew they would fight for him. My mother scolded me. Half a year of coldness had left him no outlet. My father said if I divorced, he'd disown me. My brother said his startup was funded by Guichu, so I shouldn't be selfish. Think of the family. They made scenes at home, then barged into my office. At last, helpless, my mother even drank pesticide and had her stomach pumped. Through tears and snot she wailed, "Hee Chiu-hwa, if you still call me mom, stop mentioning divorce. Our whole family depends on this son-in-law. Everyone knows I've landed a golden turtle. If you divorce, how will people laugh at us? You can't be so selfish." Guichu's buddies, who once respectfully called me sister-in-law, now sneered. Sister-in-law, what man in brother choose position doesn't keep a few confidants on the side? You just stay home and spend money. No one can ever replace you. Honestly, he treats you well enough. Think of your leeching family, won't you? Guichu didn't need to say anything, because everyone had already spoken for him. I compromised again. This time, Guichu and I dropped below freezing. I treated him like air. After a few rebuffs, he came home later and later. I don't know how I survived that period. My brain felt stuffed with paste. A glass wall separated me from the world, and I felt nothing. The third time he cheated, he brought the secretary home. They had just finished on the sofa. Guichu's open collar still bore fresh crimson bite marks. I asked, "Why won't you agree to a divorce?" He lit a cigarette. His brows blurred blurred in the thin haze, sighed in resignation. Chiuhua, at our age, don't be naive. Even if I agreed, Mom and Dad wouldn't. I'm doing this for your own good. They say the first thing a blind man does when he regains his sight is throw away his crutch, but I didn't. Even when I no longer need it, I still keep it safe, so you can keep being Mrs. Gu. With or without love, we still have family ties. I actually laughed. So you finally admit, you no longer love me? Guichu studied me for a long time, then curved his lips in amusement. I have to admit, even the deepest feelings fade with time. Now when I see your tears I feel nothing, just annoyance. After one's heart turns to ashes, what comes next? I don't know. I left that place called home. A drunk tried to grope me, grinning. Hey gorgeous, where to? I'll give you a ride. While reaching for me, my unfocused gaze settled on him, and an uncontrollable urge to destroy surged up. All of you just die. What's the point of living? Then let's not. Under his terrified eyes, I smiled and pulled out a fruit knife. For a while, panic had clung to me. I felt everyone wanted to harm me. Carrying a weapon was the only thing that gave me a shred of safety. Shit, are you crazy? Where did this psycho come from? In an instant he sobered up and bolted. I chased him like a maniac, hurling the vilest curses I knew. When my high heels snapped, I ran barefoot until my soles were torn and bloody, until he vanished. I smashed my phone, then everything smashable. Still not enough. I needed to vent the rampaging urge to wreck and ruin. Let's all perish together. Drop dead. Every last one of you. Adrenaline drove me aimlessly onward. I don't know how long I walked before I heard the sea. I sat on the reef all night, until sunrise burst over the horizon. When I finally calmed, I thought for a long time. My husband was no longer my love. My family no longer my family. I had nothing left. Yet when everything vital collapses, a strange serenity takes its place. No expectations, no hopes, no attachments. What corresponds to that? Doing exactly as I please. So what if the sky caves in? Could it be worse than now? If I can't beat them, I'll join them. If they see me as the freak, I'll become one of them. I seemed to hear my soul shatter, then reassemble. All feelings peeled away. Everything became irrelevant. When I opened the front door, Guichu and Sumi were flirting on the sofa. The maid who pushed me in was awkward. Sir, ma'am is back. Guichu glanced over lazily, then froze. What happened to your legs? I answered calmly. Cheap heels snapped. Cut them on glass. Sumi cooed. Miss He, you're too old for the disappearing act. Our boss worried all night and barely slept. She batted her lashes at Guichu. Implication thick. He said nothing, only gave her a warning look that still held indulgence. Sumi stuck out her tongue playfully. I smiled. So cheap shoes ruin everything, even my phone. Be a darling and order the newest spring-summer limited editions from those big brands and send them over. Money's no object. My husband has plenty. Sumi's face soured. She tugged Guichu's sleeve, but he only stared at me thoughtfully. I'm celebrating my birthday. Too much trouble to ask? Guichu suddenly laughed. Then have her buy them for you. He patted Sumi. You go on home. I'm spending my wife's birthday with her. Sumi deflated, shot me a powerless glare, and left unwillingly. What do you want for a birthday gift? I looked at him. That open marriage thing you mentioned still valid? He froze, saw me pull out a new phone, and point the camera at him. Say it again for the record, in case you back out. Guichu seemed to realize something. Instead of anger, he chuckled. Don't worry, if I ever back out, I'm a dog. I was satisfied. Slowly, I told the maid to clear a downstairs room for me. Guichu's gaze lingered on my new phone. Changed brands. I nodded. Used the old one too long, got bored. Trying something new. To be honest, we hadn't spoken so calmly in ages. Yet for some reason he gave a cold laugh, stood up, and left. Chiuhua had become strange. She quit the job she'd kept for years without a blink, claiming, what's the point of work when you're a rich wife? Time to enjoy. Back then, no matter how exhausted she was, she'd never resign. That had been her bottom line. Now she bought sports cars, jewelry, antiques, things she'd never cared about. Guichu had given her a black card. She never used it, so he stopped offering. Now she accepted everything. If she liked something, she'd simply send him a photo, almost willfully cute. She permed her hair. Her already striking looks became tenfold more radiant. Guichu began to feel a quiet panic. He asked the maid what she did lately. The answer was gym every day, working out, to please him. He knew how stubborn Chiuhua could be. Had she finally come around? He should have been pleased. Yet an inexplicable suffocation rose in his chest, as though events were slipping from his grasp. This wasn't like her. In his office he lit a cigarette, replaying every recent oddity. Open marriage, impossible. Even if Chiuhua had given up on him, she'd fight for divorce. She could never cross that line. The more he reasoned, the more restless he became. Sumi murmured in his arms. She dolls herself up every single day, afraid she's going out to cheat. Maybe. The words plucked the tautest string in Gu Ichu's brain. He yanked her hair down hard. Between her gasp of pain and the disbelief in her eyes, his face was savage. How my wife behaves is none of your damn business. You're the mistress. Have you forgotten your own weight? Tears sprang to Sumi's eyes, but she quickly lowered her lashes. I'm sorry, I was wrong. Gu Ichu lost all interest, grabbed his clothes and left. A business trip to Suzhou was coming up. 7 days. Almost without thinking, he detoured to the temple they had visited right after their wedding. Inside stood an enormous banyan tree festooned with red marriage ribbons. He searched for ages until he found theirs, faded almost to white, yet he recognized her handwriting at once. He Qiuhua and Gu Ichu, to love each other for a lifetime. His eyelids stung. A delayed sourness spread through his chest. Suddenly he couldn't wait to get home, to see He Qiuhua. He pushed the door open, and saw clothes strewn everywhere. From her room drifted her lazy laugh. Stop it. Shin Kong, carry me to the bath. He froze. When the door swung wide, I was wearing only a bath sheet. Shin Song gave a theatrical, glancing back at me in mock distress. Sis, didn't you say your husband was away on business? Why's he back already? I smiled reassuringly at him, then looked toward the doorway. You didn't tell me you were coming home. For a moment Gu Ichu might have been carved from stone, confusion naked in his eyes, as if he'd never imagined this scene. Seconds later he snapped, rage erupting, fist already swinging at Shin Kong. Luckily, from the day Shin Song moved in he'd worked out non-stop, ready for the day my husband might hit him. He sidestepped languidly. Enough. If you break me, your wife will worry. Don't be childish. I laughed aloud. Shin Song, you'd better go. My husband and I need to talk. See you next time. He scooped up his clothes, hooked a finger under my chin right in front of Gu Ichu, and kissed me deeply. Don't keep me waiting too long, sis. I smiled and nodded, watching him leave. I'd barely straightened when my wrist was seized, and I was yanked into the bathroom. Gu Ichu's eyes were bloodshot with fury. He tore the towel from me and shoved me into the tub, turning the shower on full. I cried out and slapped him hard. What the hell is wrong with you? The blow snapped his head to the side. Reason seemed to seep back in. His jaw clenched as he stared. He Qiuhua, how dare you betray me? I frowned. Gu Ichu, are you pretending to have amnesia? The day we agreed on an open marriage you swore you'd never regret it. So what are you doing now? Water slid down his face, his complexion turning pale. His lips barely moved. It's because you were sure I'd never cross that line. You were sure I'd just swallow it, weren't you? I stretched my arms along the tub rim, displaying the livid marks on my skin without shame. He flinched as if the sight burned his eyes. His fists whitened and trembled. I laughed softly. You really are cheap. We parted in discord. In revenge, Gu Ichu brought Sumi straight back to the house. The maid went from shock to deliberate deafness. I wasn't surprised. I even complimented Sumi's new sheer nightgown. Seeing how little I cared only enraged him further. He dragged Sumi to the room next to mine. If I slept upstairs, they renovated next door. If I moved downstairs, they set to work in the living room. One deep night the shrill noises woke me again. I'd had enough. I kicked their door hard and cursed. Have you no manners? Some of us are trying to sleep. The door opened at once. Gu Ichu appeared, torso crisscrossed with scratches, lips curved. I thought you didn't care. So what's this? I throttled my temper. What you do, where you do it, and in what position is none of my business. I just ask that you keep it down while other people need rest. Is that so hard? He stared for a long time, hunting for a trace of jealousy on my face. Finding none, he lost interest and drawled, sorry, can't do it. Sumi stepped out in her slip, leaning against him. Sorry, I did remind him, but he never listens. After all, this is his house. Miss He, could you just bear it? I considered, nodded. Fair point. I turned back to my room. Half an hour later I wheeled my suitcase out. When Gu Ichu saw Shin Song in the living room, the veins on his temples throbbed. As I brushed past, he seized my wrist. He Qiuhua, where do you think you're going? I shook him off in disgust. Somewhere I can actually sleep. Happy now? He blocked my way, voice cracking. You're not leaving. Shin Song elbowed him aside. Move. Don't crowd the lady. If you don't cherish her, I do. Gu Ichu staggered back against the wall with a grunt. Sumi rushed to support him and was roughly shaken off. His eyes stayed locked on my face, shocked disbelief. I never looked back as I left with Shin Kong. When the house is quiet, I'll come back. Shin Song drove me to one of my own apartments. He made himself at home, arms around me, refusing to let go. Since your husband came back, you hardly call me. What exactly am I to you? I stroked his hair fondly. My little affair. With that ridiculously handsome face, he put on a pitiful look. Fine, then will you spare some time for for your little affair?" It was posed as a question, but his hand was already sliding under my shirt. It was hard to connect this clingy boy with the cold, cutting man I'd met 2 months earlier. Our first meeting had been anything but glamorous. I'd just discovered another of Gu Ichu's affairs. My mother put on a show of scolding him, then revealed her real purpose, blaming me for failing to keep his heart. She ran down my hairstyle, my figure, my character, declared me worthless, and finally urged me to doll myself up to please him. I vomited right in front of her, throat burning, stomach still churning with unspeakable disgust. Ridiculously, she thought I was pregnant and happily marched me to the hospital. It was only gastroenteritis. She left muttering disappointment. I drifted out of the hospital like a ghost. After who knows how long, a business card appeared before me. Interested in fitness? Those 2 words pierced me. I lost control, sobbing hysterically. Do you also think I should work out to win back a cheating husband? Do you also think his repeated affairs are my fault for not being pretty enough? Do you all think it's my fault? Pedestrians stopped to stare. I felt utterly helpless, apologized hastily, snatched the card and fled. Behind me a clear voice called, "You're fine as you are. It's the husband who broke his wedding vows, his failure, not yours. Fitness isn't to please anyone. It's to feel the power of reshaping yourself." I wiped my tears and walked away. I sat by the river for hours. When I looked back, a tall figure was still standing guard, afraid I might do something rash. Later I signed up for the gym's top-tier package, and he became my personal trainer. That was how I learned his name. Shin Kong Shin Song was gorgeous. Members hit on him daily. Beyond work he kept everyone at arm's length, especially married women like me. But I'm patient. Back in college, Gu Ichu had been dirt poor yet driven, his aloof aura attracting rich girls who confessed to him one after another. He rejected them all without hesitation. I, from an ordinary family, realized we actually had things in common. I hovered around him, showing I liked him yet never confessing, giving him no chance to reject me. 2 years later, when his mother collapsed, I stayed with him in the hospital for half a month. Gu Ichu kissed me first and swore he'd never let me down. Now we know that promise was worthless, but objectively I do have a knack for pursuing hard targets. I added Shin Song on social media and combed through his sparse posts, songs, movie stills, topics. I spent days digesting them. During sessions I'd drop casual references. Soon his replies came faster. Daytime brought discreet touches. Nighttime, conversations that fit soul to soul. Maybe with age I've become more attractive. Within 2 months he opened up to me. Shin Song was a second-generation rich kid. His parents' marriage had been a merger. After he was born they divorced and took separate lovers abroad. A child starved for love, he ran away, came back to China, and would rather be a fitness coach than inherit a cold fortune. He asked me, "Sis, do you think I'm stupid?" I smiled. "Pretty stupid, just like I used to be. Running away hoping they'll come after you? They'll forget you soon, and the illegitimate kids will inherit what should have been yours. People who don't love you will find your tears annoying, not heartbreaking. I speak from experience." He stared at me, eyes flickering. "You must have suffered a lot." My hand slid over the beautiful chest he'd sculpted. Once you stop expecting anything, life becomes easier. Rather than wallow while others have fun, why not find some fun yourself? Speaking of fun, down there, Shin Song caught my hand helplessly. "You really just want my body, don't you?" But when it came to fun, he didn't finish the sentence. Instead, his kisses traveled downward, proving with actions that he could indeed make me feel very, very good. I'd barely enjoyed a few peaceful nights away when Gu Ichu started his midnight drama. His buddies added me to a group chat and spammed videos of him drunk in a club, calling my name. "Sister-in-law, no matter what, you can't leave Brother Chu like this. He'll drink himself into the hospital." I replied by dropping the video of Gu Ichu swearing he'd never regret our open marriage. The group fell silent and was promptly disbanded. Minutes later, my phone rang. "Sister-in-law, Brother Chu's smashed. We can't handle him. Could you please come? I'm begging you." I was about to hang up when Gu Ichu took the phone. "Ichihua, come pick me up. I'll double your allowance." I was silent for 2 seconds. Address? Shin Song, still half asleep, wrapped his arms around my waist. "You're not going." I kissed him. "Be good. I'll make him buy you another sports car. We'll go on that road trip next month." Only then did Shin Song let me go. When I arrived, his buddy came out to meet me, the same one who'd once looked down his nose and told me to let things go. From the angle where Gu Ichu could see, I patted the man's cheek. "Looking pretty good for your age. You know, Ichu and I have an open thing now. Care to take me shopping?" His face went blank, but his Adam's apple bobbed. Before he could speak, Gu Ichu's fist flew at his face. "What the hell is that look you're giving my wife?" The guy staggered back, dazed. "I didn't do anything." Gu Ichu wasn't listening. He swung again. The other man finally snapped. "Are you crazy?" It took several people to pull them apart. I stood with my arms folded, enjoying the show. When Gu Ichu climbed into the passenger seat, he stared at my smiling face as if he'd never seen me before. Where to? I asked. Back to the love nest you share with Sumi? He froze, then said hoarsely, that's our home. I said nothing. The reek of alcohol rolling off him made me nauseous. This whole car stinks. I'm having it detailed. Buy me another one. Text me the choices. Gu Ichu closed his eyes. I thought he'd fallen asleep, but a self-mocking laugh slipped out. So this is all we talk about now? I found it absurd. You're the one who told me to be a rich housewife. What are you complaining about? Your only value to me is making money for me to spend. Otherwise, why would I stay devoted to a rotten cucumber like you? Sorry, I'm not as cheap as you. He drew a slow breath and opened his eyes. Dark emotions swirled in them. Chiuhua, I barely recognize you anymore. I laughed. Then divorce me. He laughed back, soft and low. Divorce? Impossible. Gu Ichu seemed determined to ruin my mood. I just picked up the new car and was planning the trip with Shun Song when my mother called me dozens of times, ordering me home for dinner. If Gu Ichu wasn't behind it, I'd eat my phone. Sure enough, the moment the door opened, I saw Gu Ichu sitting in perfect harmony with my family. My dad, flushed from liquor, waved me over. Chiuhua, Ichu says he's cutting off all those other women and will live properly with you. I glanced at Gu Ichu. What game was this? He met my gaze without flinching, looking as sincere as the first time he'd cheated. Honey, I've promised mom and dad. Give me one more chance, okay? My mother beamed. Yes, talk things through. Harmony brings wealth. You two should hurry up and have a child. That'll really cement the marriage. Gu Ichu nodded. Everyone chimed in, not one of them caring what I thought. I slipped a piece of fish into my mouth. When they finally turned to me, I smiled. What? Didn't Gu Ichu tell you? I'm cheating too. Silence dropped like a guillotine. Gu Ichu's pupils dilated. He hadn't expected me to rip away the last fig leaf. My brother laughed awkwardly. Sis, you're joking, right? I tilted my head. Your brother-in-law and I decided on an open marriage ages ago. You're young, you get it. Gu Ichu seized my hand, trembling. His face twisted between crying and smiling. Hideous. Wife, that was just angry talk. Let's never mention it again. Okay. I shook him off. I don't get what you want. Things are fine now. I don't interfere with you. You don't interfere with me. My dad slammed his chopsticks down. A woman cheating? That's filthy. My mother chimed in. Women should behave. Break it off. Ichihuahua. When I kept eating, she slapped my chopsticks away. Did you hear me? The air reeked of cigarettes and liquor. Breathing hurt. I stood, grabbed the tablecloth and flipped the whole table. If I can't eat, neither can anyone else. Plates shattered. Gu Ichu stared like he didn't know me. I sneered. Woman cheats, she's filthy. Man cheats, it's the woman's fault. Man wants to come home, it's a gift. Woman wants a divorce, it's a scandal. You treat your son-in-law like a prince and grind your own daughter into the dirt. Well said. I spun to my dad. Who paid for your operation? Your precious son Yaozu? No, me, the daughter you despise. I turned to my mom. After every meal, your husband and son flop on the sofa. I cleaned up so you could rest, and you said, girls should be diligent. That's how you catch a husband. Food, drinks, you only thought of your son. When your back hurt and you were hospitalized, you finally called me. I couldn't manage alone, so you reluctantly let Yaozu visit once. And you cooed. Sons are best. Sons are reliable, wiping out everything I'd done. Do I owe you? I swept my gaze around. This house? I bought it. What did your precious son do? I pointed at my brother, face blotched with rage. You beg me not to divorce because your career depends on your brother-in-law. Fine, if I divorce him, why don't you marry him? Chiuhua, have you lost your mind? My dad lunged to hit me. Gu Ichu held him back, staring in disbelief. I'd always protected my family. Now I'd stabbed my own last shield. Lost my mind? Maybe. I grabbed a baseball bat and smashed the TV. Since you look down on women, stop spending women's money. Let your good son and good son-in-law buy you a new one. Television, mine. Smash. Fridge, mine. Smash. Air conditioner, mine. Smash. I destroyed everything I'd paid for. Chaos. My mother wailed, beating her thighs, cursing the heavens for raising an ingrate. I smiled gently. Then die. Last time you drank pesticide, I saved you. Next time, pick a taller building. I won't stop you. Her howls cut off. When the room was a ruin, I tossed the bat and looked at my terrified family. From now on, I'm done with you. Live or die, I don't care. Push me again and I can't promise what I'll do. On the drive back, Gu Ichu still hadn't recovered. His voice was dazed. Chiuhua, what's happened to you? I rested with my eyes closed. You pulled the same trick, using them to force me back. happy with the result. He stared at the road, tried to smile, couldn't. So why won't you forgive this time? You're throwing away your family too? When did you become so heartless? Each word was soft, soaked in helplessness. I opened my eyes. Guichu, they're your family, not mine. Every time you hurt me, they took your side. From that moment, they stopped being mine. My only regret is not waking up sooner. Look, how much easier life is now. From today on, I have nothing left to care about. What can you possibly use to threaten me? I gave him a composed smile. The car stopped. I stepped out without looking back. A whisper almost lost in the wind drifted after me. Yeah, what could I possibly use to keep you? I left the whole tiresome mess behind and honored my promise to Shinsong. A month-long road trip west. We ran across vast grasslands, watched the sun ignite golden mountains at dawn. Long stifled life stirred in my blood. For the first time I tasted freedom. Addictive. Back home, Guichu asked me to move back in. He'd fired Sumi, he said. I'd never see her again. I agreed. Where I lived was irrelevant. Money mattered. The day I moved back, Sumi stormed in drunk, sobbing in the living room, clinging to Guichu. I don't believe you never loved me. Guichu was ice cold. I never did. Sumi's voice sharpened. If you didn't love me, why let me take off your wedding ring? Why let me ride shotgun? Why miss Hichihua's birthday and let me post photos to taunt her? You dare say you didn't feel anything? That bitch forced you to dump me. I'll find her. She lunged toward the stairs. Guichu yanked her down. His voice was low, lethal. Sumi, you call my wife a bitch. Are you tired of living? Who do you think you are, making a scene in front of her? Sumi stared, tears streaming, then laughed like a madwoman. Guichu, now you play the devoted husband? When you were screwing me, did you think of your wife? Now that she doesn't love you, you crawl after her. Pathetic. He didn't argue. He had the housekeeper drag her out. I came downstairs. When our eyes met, he looked lost. Honey, I've really cut her off. I cut him off. Your business, none of mine. I had a bag in my hand. Where are you going? He asked quickly. I pushed open the door without looking back. Shinsong's not well. I'm going to see him. Won't be back tonight. Guichu couldn't speak. He watched the door close softly, and suddenly his eyes reddened. Shinsong really was sick, probably worn out from the trip. He ran a low fever the moment we got back. I dragged him to the hospital for foreign meds, fussed over him all day. Rest. I'll stay, I said, stroking his forehead before switching off the light. He caught my hand hoarse. Don't go. I'm not. Sleep. His sickbed pallor made his usually wild features look almost docile. Sis, no one's ever treated me this well. If you want, plenty of people will. He stared stubbornly. I only want you. It's different. My hand paused. My gaze drifted downward. In your current condition, you're probably not up to anything. He choked, ears red. Actually, I'm running 38 degrees Celsius. Don't you want to try? I pinched his lips shut. Stop. I'm not exploiting the sick. Sleep or I leave. He reluctantly closed his eyes, fingers still laced with mine. The next morning I cooked him congee with century egg and pork. He hugged me from behind. Lazy. Leaving already? Take care. I'll come in a couple days. He frowned. Your copycat husband. When I got sick, he got sick too. I couldn't help laughing. There's no choice. He's the legal husband after all. Shinsong, indignant, bit the hollow of my collarbone. I slid my hand under his shirt, tracing the ridges of muscle beneath smooth skin. Such a strong bite. Want to talk about it for half an hour? In death? He drew a soft hiss, pupils darkening, lifting me onto the kitchen island. He dropped to one knee. Half an hour? Not enough. By the time I got home, it was almost evening. The housekeeper had rung earlier to say Guichu had a high fever. I didn't bother. Moments later, he called himself, threatening Shinsong's job if I didn't come back. The instant I stepped in, I flung my bag straight at his face. Guichu, is this daily tantrum ever going to end? He didn't flinch, just stood there, tall and silent, eyes fixed on the bite mark on my collarbone, pupils quivering. I curled my lips. So, what do you want now? My stomach hurts. I snapped. Then see a doctor. I'm not a pharmacy. His dry lips moved. I want the century egg porridge you make. I'm not in the mood. You had the mood for Shinsong though, didn't you? I paused halfway up the stairs and looked back, frowning. Been stalking his moments? Guichu, you're the one who proposed an open marriage. What are you throwing a fit about? You're the CEO of a listed company. Don't you have anything better to do than watch him every day? Does that give you a sense of achievement? Do you really think targeting Shinsong gives you leverage over me? If he's gone, there'll be another Litsong. Lutsong Zhoukong. I spend your money keeping other men. Zero psychological pressure. When will you understand? No one cares if you're sick. Suddenly he doubled over, clutching his stomach. cold sweat beating on his temples, as if the pain were unbearable. He tried to speak but couldn't. Pleading filled his eyes. I watched his wretched state with cold detachment, called the housekeeper, then went upstairs. In the middle of the night, I felt someone kissing me. Half asleep, I pushed him away. Shin Sung quit it. The movement froze, then turned fiercer until I could hardly breathe. When I woke fully, I slapped him hard. Guichu, are you sick? I felt dampness. He didn't dodge, pressing his cheek into my palm. Honey, I was wrong, really wrong. Let's make up and stop this, okay? His voice cracked. He kissed my neck, frantic. What he can do, I can do too. I'll make you feel good, alright? I yanked his hair, forcing his head back. You think you compare to Shin Sung? He's young and clean. You're so filthy I'm scared of catching something just touching you. How dare you say that? Guichu broke. One hand covered his eyes as he sobbed. Then tell me, what should I do? Ichihua? Tell me. I was the one falling apart. Go find someone, no one's stopping you. He hugged me desperately. I won't look anymore, never again. Wife. I'm sorry, I regret everything. Please forgive me one more time. I beg you. I dragged him by the hair to the sink. Remember what you said? That if you ever regretted it, you'd be a dog. Look at yourself, exactly like one. In the mirror he was gaunt, pallid, eyes bloodshot, a shell of the man he'd been months earlier. I gripped his arm and realized how shockingly thin he'd become. I'd meant to sober him up, but he simply tugged the corner of his mouth and barked, an actual humble woof. Ichihua, I'm a dog. I'm scum and idiot. Hit me, curse me, whatever makes you happy. I only want you to change your mind. We'll go back to how we were. We will. He muttered like a prayer to himself. Disgusted, I let go. A light push and he crumpled to the floor. I frowned. Guichu, when did you get this weak? Don't tell me you've picked up some nasty disease. Get treated. My quality of life can't drop. That's my only demand of you. Apart from making money, you're worthless. After the masks came off, I simply stopped coming home. Guichu, for once, didn't harass me. Instead, my mother began tearful calls, unusually cautious. My father and brother took turns contacting me, voices softer, hinting I should visit. They'd always been like this. Sons over daughters, stark double standards. When my brother's clothes wore thin, they bought new ones. Mine were mended again and again. His bowl always had drumsticks. Mine only wings. Girls eat less. His allowance was topped up. Mine was never enough. Too many disappointments to count. Yet every time I resolved to hate them, I remembered a sick night when someone tucked the quilt tighter and sighed with worry. The hardest part wasn't their constant belittling. It was the illusion that maybe they did love me. My first half-life was spent chasing that faint warmth. It numbed every hurt. People say parental love is like a damp cotton coat. Cold when you wear it, colder when you take it off. The bravest thing I ever did was defy their scolding and marry Guichu, my soul's first great escape. Later events proved it the right choice, so in my memory the partial parents faded, replaced by loving family. I despised my own cheap yearning, yet still craved their affection, until Guichu's affair shattered the fantasy. It had all been a dying soul's dream. At 29, I finally took off that wet coat. I would never let it torment me again. I blocked everyone and slowly exhaled. See, no big deal. I didn't see Guichu again until 2 months later, his mother's Memorial Day. I brought white chrysanthemums. He stood in a black cashmere coat, silent before the tombstone. Side by side, neither of us spoke for a long time. Hard not to remember. Early in our marriage he'd been frantic. Startup investors, clients, working himself sick to pay his mother's medical bills, several gastric bleeds, hospital stays. I learned to make stomach-soothing meals, shuttled between hospital and office. My century egg congee was best because he loved it. Pancreatic cancer, surgery, relapse. Her last days I stayed with her. She told me over and over about Guichu's childhood, his father's infidelity, abandonment, how he matured too early, never even rebelled. She said meeting me was their blessing. Before she died, she made him swear to care for me all his life. He wept and promised. So even after he cheated, he never stinted me money. I couldn't be bothered to argue whether that counted as breaking his vow. Whatever. I turned to leave. His calm voice rose behind me. Ichihua, let's divorce. I paused, then lowered my eyes. Fine. Signing the papers, I glanced at the settlement, unexpectedly generous. Apart from company shares, he gave me almost everything. The amount was staggering. I wasn't foolish enough to refuse. I even joked. I knew my taste in men couldn't be that bad. At least you're generous. His cheeks were hollow, body a coat hanger under fabric. He lifted his gaze, self-mocking. But you stopped trusting me long ago. Otherwise you wouldn't have quietly moved assets overseas. I smiled and said nothing. I'd never planned to stay entangled with a scumbag forever, so I kept demanding money, shifting assets to foreign accounts. Even if I'd ended up with nothing after the split, I'd have had enough capital to live free. I'd paved my own road. No one could sway me now. The day we collected our divorce certificates was brilliantly sunny. Shin Song stood beside me, beaming brighter than the light. Ex-brother-in-law, thanks for being sensible. I'll take good care of sis. Guichu didn't rise to the bait. His gaze lingered on my face as if to carve it into memory. I curved my lips, nodded. Take care. He answered softly, eyes reddening. Hichihua, I'm sorry. Then he turned and walked away. We had finally reached the end. Shin Song asked what I planned next. I didn't hesitate. I'm going to see the world. That month on the road, the wild wind cut through my skin and stirred stagnant blood. I realized what had shattered wasn't my soul. It was the cage. I could go anywhere. I was free. And you? Shin Song looked down at me, relaxed. I'm going home to inherit the family business. You were right. Running solves nothing. I won't hand what's mine to anyone else. I laughed. Good. I support you. From the start, we'd agreed. Either of us could end this whenever. Now it was time to part. As I wondered how to say goodbye, Shin Song's clear voice rang out. Sis, you walk ahead. I'll catch up. When I do, give me a real chance. Official status. Hichihua, I really like you. I didn't need long to think. The corners of my mouth lifted. I hugged him. Fine. I won't stop for anyone, but I don't mind traveling a stretch with someone who fits. As for how far, let fate decide. Half a year later, at Abu Simbel in Egypt, I got a call from Guichu's attorney. Guichu had died of stomach cancer minutes earlier. Before death, he'd sold the company and left every cent to me. I only blinked for a second. Sudden, yet not without signs. The lawyer's voice was heavy. My condolences. Mr. Gu left you a message. He said to respect your wishes. Do you want to hear it? I was quiet a moment. No need. I hung up. The guide Shin Song had hired asked kindly if something urgent had happened, if we should pause the trip. I shook my head. Nothing important. Let's keep going. He smiled and resumed the history lecture. The scenery soon filled my mind entirely, as if the call had been trivial. Indeed it was. Only in a spare moment, a line of poetry flashed. If only life stayed as at first encounter, why would autumn winds sadden the painted fan? A college roommate once teased that our names together, Guichu and Hichihua, were inauspicious. I'd laughed and spat 3 times, swearing it would never matter. Now the jest had come true. One could only sigh at fate's caprice. But heavy downpours always pass. Keep walking. Never look back.